Hi, I'm Sean.
I'm Rhonda.
Let's talk about differences in the male-female brain. We're going to look at this in a
We got
series.
this information from Dr. Carolyn Leaf's book, Who Switched Off Your Brain? Solving the Mystery of He Said, She Said.
Let's look at the area of processing information differences in the male and female brain.
So, research shows the processing, the fibers between the hemisphere of the brain are different in the male and female.
Wow. You can look at the way men deal with things one topic at a time. They are better at working at one single task at a time.
So, the man, the compartmentalized brain, right? He opens one thing, closes it, then opens the next, closes it.
He focuses on each task separately but intensely.
It's more difficult for him if he gets interrupted while he's talking because he's focused on the point of his communication.
So it's helpful for a wife to slow down so the husband can focus on one topic at a time.
Patiently allow him to have the opportunity to complete his thought before sharing your perspective.
And for a woman, she has many open-ended topics going simultaneously.
She can engage in a lot of open-ended tasks at the same time. She can listen to, comprehend, and process up to 7 auditory inputs at a time.
Wow. She can be interrupted but still bring that topic back to close each topic randomly.
He can help her. He can let her know when she's doing this. He can ask, can we just do one topic at a time? Could we break this down?
Wow, this is going to explain so many things that we can clash on in our relationship because we're just processing information differently.
When husbands and wives trying to work through difficult conversations like conflict, like coming up with a budget, or working through something we need to both find a we picture on.
Exactly.
One of the problems they have is one or both of them can bring out too many topics at a time. The male brain doesn't do that as well as the female brain.
Yeah.
So if she can slow it down and he can help her, pick one topic. Could we maybe just focus on this right now and resolve it?
Right. So he's going to want to give more intense focus on that one thing, bring it to close, and now let's move on to the next thing.
If she opens too many boxes at a time, he's not going to track with her.
Yeah.
It's going to be too many words and not make sense. And she might take offense when he says it's too many words and I'm getting lost in all the words and it doesn't make any sense. It's not that she doesn't make sense. It's not that she's not being coherent. It's that he is compartmentalized and needs to only open one box. So could we reduce this tension for him by only opening one? How can we break this down into pieces, and which piece do we talk about first?
It's just going to be frustrating for us if we're trying to make our spouse into our own image, if we're trying to change them in the way God wired them to think and process information and make that look like me.
And so when we look at talking through difficult topics, it's important for the woman to slow down, to be able to work one compartment at a time, and to be careful that she's not spider webbing, going in all sorts of different directions simultaneously and losing him. If we really hope to be heard, we would need to communicate in the way the other person can hear it. The way the person who's maybe more challenged in any given area of the male-female differences, the way the one who's more challenged would deal with it, rather than the one who might be a little bit better in that area, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think just understanding this can help us to not be frustrated and think there's something wrong when we really can appreciate that God made my spouse this way, and I need to understand and value that difference.